the first story I got? Let's get into it right now. The first story I have, the Supreme Court ruling there. It says Trump gets major win. He does. He gets a major win going on there, and it's continue to win. And I have it there sometimes why Trump is winning here. On the executive power, this is dealing with executive power. It talks about here the Supreme Court on the United States held President Donald Trump to a major win. The court ruled that presidents have more power over federal agencies. I talked about it earlier, but now I'm going to get in more in detail because this is a game changer, like everything else. How you doing a little bit? How you doing? This is definitely a game changer. The key points of this, the key facts about this one. The Supreme Court ruled that Trump has stronger control over the executive branch agencies. Okay? This means that Trump can remove certain federal agency leaders more easily. That's what we want, right? Agencies affected could include labor boards, regulators, and other federal offices. This also considers the conservatives say that this restores presidential authority. This was a slippery slope. A whole new administration comes in, and now they're loyal to the previous administration. Not anymore. Now the president's authority is being used all federally across the board. So, these jobs might be only 4 years now if they show any political biases. And that's what's happening now. You notice that some of these guys are picking sides. The government agencies are picking sides on who they're loyal to, the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Well, not anymore now. If the president's in office, now he can decide who his leaders are, those federal branches and those federal things. And now he can let them go at will and replace them. Conservatives say this restores presidential authority. Liberals say that this gives too much power to the White House. It all depends on how you look at it, right? Whose side you're on when the president's in office. And this right here is one of those things that can be scary right now because we saw this previously being used with the Biden administration having the border completely open. Well, not complete, but had it open and they just let so many people in. And the other side could not stop them. They said, well, just go ahead and just make it a law then. Why Trump supporters like this? Americans vote for a president to lead. This is what we do, guys. We set up. We all got together. We all said, you know what? The best president right now, the best person for this country is not Kamala Harris. It's President Donald J. Trump. And that's what happened. If agency leaders ignore the president, voters lose control. That's what happens. So we put it in the hands of American people. Let the leader lead, right? We picked him, let him lead. Many conservatives believe that the deep state has too much power. Here it is. It seems like they do sometimes, right? When they have all these laws and stuff and all these rules and they protest and no one's arresting them. It seems like there's this lawlessness going on. This ruling weakens the unelected bureaucrats. I think it does. It weakens them totally. Pro-Trump talking points here is talking about here. People elect a president, not a bureaucrat. It says Washington agencies have become too powerful. Now the president decides what he wants to do, and now he can move forward. Not have their own little sector and their own little thing going on. Now it's running as a full part of the government under the president. Trump promised to drain the swamp. This is one step that he can do by draining the swamp. It says this ruling helps him do exactly that, drain the swamp. This is a huge win for Trump. For years, conservatives have said unelected bureaucrats were running Washington crazy. And this ruling changes that. It helps, it takes a step forward. Now we need to get rid of those lobbyists, right? We need lobbyists who just go in there and just give them tons of money to decide how our future will be.